Come on now, fellas! We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go!
Welcome in to another edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow and Mo Patton here with you on this quite fine and beautiful Tuesday. Top 5 Tuesday, in fact. Glad to be with you. Looking forward to a fantastic show with Chris Lee and Chip Walters set to join us. Talk a little SEC baseball, talk a little Middle Tennessee State everything. Get to gripe about tennis and the things that go along with that. Man, what a day it's going to be. But right now, looking outside, man, it's just absolutely fantastic. A beautiful day in southern Middle Tennessee. What's going on, Mo?
Oh, just looking forward to getting out in some of this and hoping that it hangs on as we get out and cover a little postseason action at the high school level. So
postseason getting underway. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. Again.
Hey, why are you deleting stuff that I'm using?
I thought you were done. That's why I went trying to make sure I can see everything. Well, we've got plenty of great stuff to get to, and we need to kind of get into some of that postseason talk here soon, because baseball's a little different this year than it has been in the past. I understand, and so who knows? We'll have to figure out all of the things that are going on in the TSSAA. Plenty of time to do that, though, as we're getting ready for postseason play. Looking forward to it. Oh, what a great show. Talk a little Braves here in a minute. We got a couple of big top stories to get to. All of that coming your way here in just a moment. And it's Top 5 Tuesday. And in honor of Jerry Springer, we will be doing our top 5 talk show hosts outside of sports. We'll limit it to, we'll take sports out and maybe do that a little bit later down the road. Seems like a good topic to get to. So we'll do that and more. So before we get into our top story, let's get you yesterday's results, though, and today's schedule. Plenty of it on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
High school baseball action on Monday. Beach and Dixon County split a doubleheader. The opening game, a thriller apparently. Beach wins at 1-0. Dixon County bounces back for a 7-3 victory. Momentum is your next day starting pitcher, I guess. Cascade with a 21-1 victory over Antioch. Mount Juliet edges Clarksville Northeast 5-4. Clarksville Northwest with a 3-2 win over Harpeth. Creekwood down Sycamore 6-4. It's Davidson Academy 5. Donaldson Christian 3. East Robertson with a 9-8 win over White House. Forest defeats Eagleville 9-5. Gallatin 19. Hunters Lane 1. Good Pasture 20. Clarksville Academy 7. Franklin Grace Christian 27, Battleground Academy 8, Green Hill with an 8-2 win over Lebanon. White House Heritage defeats Joe Burns 9-4, Clarksville with an 8-3 win over McGavock. University School of Nashville 5, Middle Tennessee Christian 2. Willie Donnick's happy. Tullahoma with a 3-1 win over Nolensville. Independence defeats Oakland 9-6. Pearl Cone 31, Stratford 1. Riverdale with a 7-3 win over Centennial. Hendersonville defeats Rossview 9-2. It's Shelbyville 9, Lawrence County 5. Spring Hill with a 2-1 win on senior night over Smyrna. Station Camp 6, Upperman 4, Stewart's Creek 17, Overton 7, Summit with a 10-2 win over Siegel. West Creek defeats Kenwood 16-1, and Wilson Central 11, Cookville 6.
Softball action, Donaldson Christian 12-2 winners over Battleground Academy. It was Columbia Academy 11-1 against Davidson Academy. Summertown 10 runs forced 12-2. Friendship Christian 15-0 against Nashville Christian. Westmoreland blanks Gallatin 17-0. It was Good Pasture 19, Clarksville Academy 4, and Beach 7, Hendersonville 0. Loretto 10 runs, Marshall County 14-4, and McGavock with a 16-1 win over Cane Ridge. Middle Tennessee Christian 18-3 winners over Ezel Harding, and Giles County blanks Mount Pleasant 13-0. Richland blanking Community 3-0. Big win there for the Lady Raiders. Columbia Central with a 12-1 win against Shelbyville, and Station Camp big 15-0 winners over Hunters Lane with Smyrna 4. Stewart's Creek 3. Upperman 9-5 winners over Watertown. And Mount Juliet Christian and Webb School beating the softball. Following 13-12, the final there, Mount Juliet Christian winners.
Boys soccer action on Monday. Franklin Classical edge Zion Christian 2-1. Gallatin with a 3-1 win over Portland. Richland down Loretto 5-2. And Westmoreland defeated Ezel Harding 8-1. Girls flag football up in Clarksville at Forterra Stadium on the campus of Austin P. West Creek knocks off previously unbeaten Montgomery Central 13-6 to win the championship up there. College softball action, the rubber match over at Fayetteville as Arkansas defeats Tennessee 2-0. Major League Baseball action on Monday, the Braves and the Mets split a doubleheader. Braves 9-8 in the opener, Mets 5-3 in Game 2, which was virtually without Ronald Acuna Jr., who got hit on the first at-bat or plate appearance of the ballgame. San Diego with an 8-3 win over Cincinnati also on Monday.
Today's schedule, baseball action. Franklin Road Christian will be at Zion Christian at 5 o'clock. At 5:30, it's Trousdale County welcoming Westmoreland. At 6 p.m., Hendersonville's at Blackman. Wilson Central's at Cookville. Joe Burns welcomes Stewart County. John Overton at home against Cane Ridge. Christian Community goes to Laverne. Lebanon's at home against Green Hill. Mount Juliet playing host to Knights Academy, and Brentwood's at Smyrna. Clay County will be at Westmoreland. That's going to be real interesting. Check your local listings, Westmoreland fans, whether you're at home or away. And at 7 o'clock, Wilson's White House will be at Montgomery Central.
Softball action today at 3:30. Antioch is at Cane Ridge. At 4:30, Christ Presbyterian Academy makes a short trip to Brentwood Academy. East Robertson is at Hendersonville at 4:30. Also, Overton is at Page. 5 o'clock starts for Wilson Central at Beach. Whoa. Murfreesboro Central at Brentwood Academy. That's going to be an interesting situation there. Camden is at White's Creek.
Either way, Brentwood Academy is at home, though.
At home against somebody.
Just go to Brentwood Academy and see what happens.
Well, if you're a Brentwood Academy fan, that's fine.
Yeah.
Also at 5 o'clock, Camden is at Creekwood. Loretto goes to Marshall County. Mount Pleasant hosts Frank Hughes. Springfield travels to Stewart's County. It must be CPA and Brentwood Academy, because also at 5 o'clock, supposedly Murfreesboro Central is at Upperman for a 5 o'clock doubleheader.
There you go.
Trousdale County goes to Westmoreland at 5. Franklin Road Christian is at Zion Christian at 5. At 5:30, Forest is at Eagleville. Joe Burns is at Stewart's Creek. Columbia Central hosting Cornersville. I'm sorry, that one is at 6. Cornersville is at Columbia Central at 6. Also at 6, Centennial is at Laverne at 6:30. Riverdale hosting Blackman. Siegel hosting Rockvale. Summit travels to Zion Christian today at 6:30. Times undetermined. Franklin Road Academy is at Nashville Christian. This is all Division 2A postseason play. Again, Franklin Road at Nashville Christian, Mount Juliet Christian at Clarksville Academy. Franklin Grace is at Davidson Academy, and Middle Tennessee Christian is at Battleground Academy.
Boys soccer on the pitch. Nashville Christians at Clarksville Academy at 5. Also at 5, Franklin Christian welcomes Middle Tennessee Christian and Liberty Creeks at Springfield at 5:30. STEM Academy is at Murfreesboro Central Magnet. And at 6 o'clock, Culleoka is hosting Lawrence County. Greenbrier is at East Robertson. Fayetteville's at home against Lawrence County. So, okay. Sure, Lawrence County. Columbia Academy's at Giles County. Cookville at Lebanon. Montgomery Bell Academy at Pope Prep. John Overton's at USN. Jackson County's at Westmoreland at 6:30. It's White House and CPA. Zion Christian's at Richland at 7 tonight. Station Camp at Beach. Clarksville at Hendersonville. Mount Juliet at Laverne. McGavick at Merrill Hyde. Siegel at Riverdale. Blackman at Rockville. Stewart's Creek against Oakland. Good Pastures at White House Heritage. And Smyrna goes to Wilson Central.
Trust but verify is the key to these schedules, y'all. College baseball action tonight. Georgia State, the Panthers coming to the Hawk, taking on the Commodores of Vanderbilt. That's a 6 o'clock start on SEC Network Plus. At 5:30 p.m. on SEC Network Plus, it's Wofford at Tennessee. And at 6 on SEC Plus, in addition to that Vanderbilt game, Lipscomb goes to Arkansas. In junior college baseball action, Calhoun State is at Dave Hall Field taking on the Chargers of Columbia State. It's a 6 o'clock start. It's the regular season finale for the Chargers before they get into tournament action. College softball tonight or today, Austin Peay is at Southern Indiana. That's a 3 o'clock start there. And in Major League Baseball, Braves and the Marlins open a 4-game series at 5:40 today in Miami. At 6:45, the Angels are at St. Louis in I guess this is the Albert Pujols Memorial here. Milwaukee is at Colorado at 7:40, and Cincinnati continues its series at Petco Park against the Padres. That's an 8:40 start in the Dave Weathers Memorial.
There you go.
And that is your rundown. Sorry, David Weathers never played for the Padres. One of the few teams he didn't play for, but so missed that
Padres and the Braves. Those are the only 2 teams you never got to.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it.
Oh man! All right, top story today, Mo. Got a couple that want to get to as at least
top stories, plural.
Yeah, top stories, plural. Number 1, Taylor Lewan has tweeted out earlier that he is filing a lawsuit against somebody, not quite sure who, alleging that whoever repaired his ACL in 2020 botched the surgery, which then subsequently, he says, caused him to re-injure the knee in 2021. And basically, if you're reading into this like I am, and this is my opinion, nobody wants to touch him. So he's decided that damages have occurred. And here we are. Taylor Lewan.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
According to John Glennon of the Nashville Post, Lewan alleges that doctors who performed his 2020 ACL surgery did so incorrectly. Underwent his first ACL surgery in October 20 after tearing the ligament in his right knee during a game against the Houston Texans. forcing him to miss the last 11 games of that season. Came back and played in 13 of 17 regular season games in 2021, along with the Titans playoff game that year. That was against Cincinnati, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But LeWan struggled at times with discomfort in the knee, and he did not perform to his previous level. Second game of 22 toward the same ACL, missed the remainder of the year. Indicated then that issues stemming from the first ACL surgery were at the root of the problem, and expanded on that on his infamous Bussing with the Boys podcast. Said he made Tuesday's lawsuit announcement for fans following him that are, quote, kind of wondering what the hell is happening with LeWan, because a lot of times there's areas for vulnerability, and I wanted to make sure I share that. I was able to share that with you guys. I guess there are people out there who were wondering what the hell is happening with LeWan. Personally, I wasn't one of them, but okay. Were you one of them? Yeah.
No, I mean, I was kind of curious to see if he signed anywhere, but
you weren't wondering what the hell was happening with him.
No, I mean, there's plenty of other things to talk about other than free agent offensive tackles.
I mean, I guess
it wasn't on my list.
Honestly, I guess my concern with LeWan was only as it related to his affiliation with the Tennessee Titans, and once he wasn't, I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need to know. I do think, if that's true, it's obviously, hindsight being 2020, you kind of go, darn, would love to have had him last year and probably would have made a difference. And thanks, doctors, for screwing that up.
Well, I mean, you'd like to think he would have been better than
Dennis Daly.
Dennis Daly, yes. Yes. Yeah,
he who shall not be mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think we could put a traffic barrel out there at left tackle, and it wouldn't have been any worse than Dennis Daly. But LeWan did not identify a specific doctor or entity, so it's unclear whether he was referencing Titans medical personnel. A court filing could not be located, and LeWan did not say where he filed the lawsuit. A Titans spokesperson did not immediately reply when asked if Titans doctors performed the initial surgery. Again, this is from the Nashville Post coverage by John Glennon.
Nice to see John Glennon.
Yes,
here in Nashville.
That's the takeaway from this. Yes,
Yeah.
John Glennon is on the beat, and that's great to see. Yeah. So I filed a suit, but I'm not going to tell you where.
I can't imagine that Titans medical staff performed an ACL the first ACL surgery. I can't imagine that. I mean,
I'm sure they have an arthroscopic specialist that they work with, but I don't know that would necessarily be a Titans. I don't know how you define Titans medical personnel necessarily.
That's true, I guess. I'm not I'm not in on that. And I'm certainly on record as being somewhat critical of the Titans medical staff and
more their conditioning staff than their
conditioning staff. But well, I mean, the medical staff isn't getting them back either, and they're clearly not telling the conditioning staff this is what you're doing wrong. This is what causes this, which maybe they are, by the way, because apparently the turf installation is an attempt to curb some of the injuries. They think that the grass surface at Nissan Stadium is the problem.
Yeah, this particular turf is supposed to be, theoretically more healthy than grass, which did you see the tweet on Sunday involving the newest addition at quarterback? to the franchise's roster?
No, I have not seen the tweet.
Will Levis has apparently entered into a deal with Pennington Grass.
Some kind of panel, right? Isn't he on some kind of panel that like?
I'm not sure exactly what it is, but he is.
Is it Pennington
somehow,
Rye? Pennington Grass? What is that?
Something like that, yeah.
Pennington is a grass producer.
Pennington is also a distillery in Nashville, which is why I was a little confused.
No, it's not. No, it's not the same folks.
This is from his Twitter account right here.
You found it?
Oh, they got grass on the wall.
Flip the turf. I think that's
maybe he can bring some grass with him. I don't know.
Well, as we saw it out at Ravenwood at the girls flag football tournament, we were just kind of fascinated by the Titans' new quarterback endorsing a natural grass producer as his home stadium will be a turf surface for the upcoming season.
That was in the comments. A lot of people were saying that same thing. Like, don't you know Nissan has turf?
Or will have.
Will have.
That's funny. I don't know.
But our conclusion was, hey, if Pennington wants to give him the money, who is he to not take it?
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely going to take it.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what I can do for you, but I will cash this check. Cha-ching.
I will say this, and we can go on. Taylor's lawsuit doesn't. I mean, it is what it is. There's not really much that we're gonna add to that discussion. I'll be interested to see if they figure, if there's something that comes out of it, if there is evidence that they messed it up or whatever, and hopefully we find out, if that surgical team has worked on others here recently or whatever. But I mean, honestly, it was very low on my list of concerns. So
I can tell you, if I had a list of concerns, it was not on it.
I have a list. You are not on it.
You're not on it. Yeah. Sorry.
Our other top story, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The Memphis Grizzlies will under no circumstances be bringing back Dylan Brooks. And
you can go poke your bears elsewhere, sir.
This, according to Shams
numerous outlets.
Charania.
Yeah, Shams Charania, but the Athletic is also
well, he is the Athletic.
Oh, he is the Athletic. My bad. The Athletics, Shams Charania. Yeah.
Have informed pending free agent Dylan Brooks that he will not be brought back under any circumstances.
Under any circumstances.
That is a
Sir, if you were the last forward on earth, we would not sign
you. We would just play two centers.
Yeah, we would just go with 4 guards. Yeah,
whatever we have to do.
Yeah. We'll play 5-on-4. Yeah, whatever.
I do think that there's a little bit of sadness if you're a longtime Grizzlies fan, because when Dylan Brooks was a rookie, he really was fun to watch. But boy, did he just get worse as time went on. And not in anything else. I mean, if you just look at his shooting percentages, he's just been bad.
From this article on The Athletic, Brooks' first-round series against the Lakers was considered to be a breaking point. In the span of the Grizzlies series, lost in 6 games, he called LeBron James old, tired, and suggested he was not as good as he used to be. Punched James in the groin area, earning an ejection. Missed a defensive assignment to help James on the game-tying basket, and then gave up a critical basket to James in overtime of that loss. Also chose not to speak to the media after 3 of the losses in that series, resulting in a $25,000 fine. The Lakers also left Brooks open during the series and dared him to shoot, using the extra defender to keep Ja Morant from driving or to blitz Desmond Bane on the perimeter. Brooks shot 31.2% from the floor, 23.8% from three-point in the series, while averaging 10 points and shooting nearly 13 shots per game. So
This picture says it all.
that picture does say it all.
It's like, oh, I was supposed to make that?
He was just so bad. Second half of the season on, just useless to the Grizzlies and their quest for an NBA championship.
And I think you can be useless if you're not drawing attention to yourself.
Yeah. You can't be useless and make the other team better.
Yeah. And motivate the other team.
Right. I mean, that's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
no more Dylan Brooks.
Y'all don't think anybody else will pick him up? I think we talked about this the other day, but
I'm sure he'll wind up somewhere.
Yeah.
It just won't be in Memphis.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Although I saw a national media person who basically called him a scapegoat for this situation. And I'm just like, no, you can't be the scapegoat if you brought this on yourself.
I was about to say the attention was brought on by him. Like no one seeked out, as Stephen A. Smith said. He said, because you don't think we're out here looking for juicy Dylan Brooks stories, do you? You brought it to our attention.
It's so true though. Like we're not. I don't need.
If we're looking for juicy stories, that it's not on Dylan Brooks. Yeah.
He said, "There's not somebody on our staff that's like, hey, anything from Dylan today?"
No, he's
that's great.
And here's the thing: is we're mad at him for not talking to media. He gets fined for not talking to media, but it was talking to the media that got him in the problem in the first place. So, maybe
he's got the right idea. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe he learned. It's like, hey, look, I learned from my mistake. So, and if I ain't got nothing nice to say, Mama says, don't say nothing at all. So,
yeah, well, maybe you can get Mama to chip in on that fine then. But yeah,
there you go.
Hey, before we go to break, just want to mention one that we neglected to mention this in the rundown, but two, the Sounds played their series opener up at St. Paul and are done and defeated the Saints 11-5. So maybe day games work for the Sounds.
Well, not
on
so
days
much,
when it doesn't rain and hail.
I was going to say not so much Sunday, but they kept pushing the time back. Maybe that was the problem. What is tomorrow? What time is tomorrow's game?
Tomorrow's game is at 6:37.
Okay, so we'll be playing. And see, St. Paul, I think they have to kind of look at the Farmer's Almanac to decide what time their games are supposed to be played, because it's still cold up there.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, Eddie Alvarez kind of alluded to that when we talked to him on Friday. Doug Scopel kind of alluded to that when we talked to him last Monday as well. But apparently it was warm enough for Keston Hura, who hit his 10th home run of the season today.
Dude's just beating the baseball.
Well, I think he's trying to prove to Milwaukee that he's got no business here. So now has a 9-game hitting streak, and over that streak is hitting .516 with 4 doubles, 3 homers, and 13 ribs. So he's trying to get out of Nashville. While so many people are trying to get to Nashville, he's trying to get out.
And yet they really don't have anywhere to put him right now. So
this is one of those situations where you're playing for 29 other teams.
Very well possible. Very well possible. So, yes, that's correct, old geezer. 6:37, not 6:38, not 6:36.
Not 6:36. Nope.
6:37. So, all right, let's take our first break. When we come back, Braves chatter, Chris Lee still to come, Chip Walters as well. Stick around here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back to the Lee Company studio in just a moment. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Attention Tennessee homeowners, we want to buy your house. Hi, we are Real Property Solutions, a local real estate investing group. We pay cash for all types of property, so you walk away with more money in your pocket because we eliminate any fees, closing costs, and commissions. Now the best part, we can buy your house as is, meaning you don't have to do a thing to your property. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't, and don't even worry about cleaning. We close on your timeline, whether that's 7 days or 70 days. Interested in selling? Just give us a call and we'll come out to your property and quote you a cash offer within 24 hours. Please call 615-527-8750. That's 615-527-8750.
May 2nd, 1999, Nike's Chicks Dig the Long Ball commercial featuring Braves pitchers Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux makes its television debut. The ad shows the two multiple Cy Young Award winners becoming frustrated with the attention shown to St. Louis slugger Mark McGwire by Heather Locklear and a friend, and working to grab some of that home run spotlight. That was this day in Braves history. And that was one of my favorite Brave history.
How long are they going to worship this guy?
Hey! We got Cy Young winners over here. Come on, Alice. Pull. Step into it. Feel bigger? Yeah.
Hi, Tom.
Chicks dig the long ball.
Hey, have you guys seen Mark?
You guys seen Mark?
Always fun.
That's one of my favorite this day in Braves histories. That was good. And
It never gets old. You can do that one every year and it never gets old.
And Justin, good get on the video. Good job.
Oh, that was all CEO.
Oh, okay. Well, good job, CEO.
There you go.
I knew it was coming.
Solid.
I still have it down. I still had it downloaded from last year, and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. Let's go grab it." So
segue. That was awesome.
Man, what a beautiful, beautiful commercial. What a tough day yesterday for Atlanta.
Yeah, we could have used some of those long balls in the second game yesterday.
You know,
got some of them in the first game.
Got plenty of them, and needed every one of them. Needed every one of them, and I want to go back because we kind of gave AJ Minter a little bit of grief yesterday when he gave up the solo homer in the ninth, but I saw a screen grab of pre-pitch and post-pitch. Let's just say that AJ Minter threw it exactly where Sean Murphy's glove was located, and he just got beat.
And that happens, man. I mean,
it happens.
You know, Braves country or Braves Twitter, I swear, I think they think you're going to win every game.
Well,
you're not going to win every game. Sometimes the other team just executes better.
But you should expect to win. You should never expect to lose a game you're winning in the ninth inning.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't expect to lose it.
And yet,
but I mean,
the Braves have given us reason to expect that over the last few years.
You know,
and so
I think it was Mookie that said, you know, they drive Mercedes too.
They do. And that's okay. We get that. But closers are closers. And that's one of the issues.
Well, that's part of the problem though, because that's not your closer.
Exactly. And so you kind of have to understand the nuance of the situation right now for the Braves. But I think that's been the biggest frustration over the last couple of years for Atlanta is that there's not been a guy that you can that you can absolutely say for certainty when that guy's in the game, we're winning. It's over. Shut it down.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
and it's just frustrating.
That said, and you know, far be it from me to be a Will Smith apologist, but we did win a World Series with Will Smith as a closer.
Doing just that, by the way.
Yeah.
Making it runs
in the postseason.
Right.
But
every time he ran out there, you never knew if that was going to be the time.
No, you did not. No.
So that's just, I think that's the biggest frustration on Braves Twitter, particularly. Braves Facebook is a whole other animal that nobody knows.
Oh, I don't pay any attention to Braves Facebook. I hear about it, but I don't even go there.
I just look for screenshots on Twitter. But
that's foolish over there, man. Shoot.
But you know, great job in game one of getting it done. Game two had every opportunity, and you know, Eddie Rosario, who is hitting 350 lifetime with the bases loaded, comes through yet again with a bases clearing double that gives you the lead 3-2 going to the bottom of the fifth, and can't close, can't shut it down, can't. You know, Charlie Morton gets 2 runners on and bases clearing.
Speaking of not knowing what to expect,
bases clearing double puts New York ahead 4-3, and that was it. I mean, and then another run by Joe Jimenez, and it's like I don't understand what the problem is with this team. It's like they can't feel comfortable with a lead.
I think you do understand what the problem is, and again, I think when Raziel Iglesias gets back and a lot of guys are able to settle into some roles or not have roles, then some of this smooths out a little bit.
I think that'll help. I think there are some members of this bullpen that we thought were going to be very strong that have turned out to not be.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. But it is
is.
early. It's still May. Braves are still 3 games ahead of both New York and Florida.
Could have been 5 ahead, but
Could have been 5 ahead of New York.
Yeah.
And that would have been great. Would have been nice. But you got a chance to put some more distance between you and the Marlins in the next 3 starting tonight.
And the Mets still got to come to Atlanta.
Plenty. I mean, look, it's May. It is what it is. But I just feel like this is really frustrating for me. Just trying to watch this team, and you get excited. All right, we got a lead going into the 5th inning. Charlie's going to get a chance to get the win here, and as good as he was yesterday, the 5th inning, he wasn't as good as he needed to be, and New York took advantage. The fact that we couldn't hit Tyler McGill was almost embarrassing.
Yeah.
Guy's been terrible all year. He goes out there and this is typical Braves fashion. I mean, that Atlanta struggles against pitchers who are struggling and have for a long time. This is nothing new.
Yeah. I do want to take you back though. Speaking of this day in Braves history, the Braves are currently 19-10 and have a 3-game lead over the Mets, who are 16-13. Last year, the Mets were 16-7 on May 2nd. The Braves were 10-13. So do with that what you will. I like this year better.
Well, except that last year, the team with the better record didn't win the division. So I don't like that, but I understand the sentiment. I think this Braves team is probably going to win 100 games. They're probably going to win 105. When fully healthy, they are a top 3 team in the league, if not the best team in the league.
Power rankings are agreeing with you on that. So the last couple of weeks they've been number 2 behind Tampa Bay,
right?
Which makes them number 1 in the National League.
Correct. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm feeling very confident in this team. Michael Soroka still out there. Of course, he gave up a lot of hits and a lot of runs on Sunday, but that's
had not worked in a week though.
Yeah,
I don't know if that had something to do with it. Yeah.
He had been pushed back from his Friday start to a Sunday start. I think they were trying to get him ready to go this Friday, but I'm not sure if that's the case at this point anymore. Atlanta goes to Miami tonight with Marcell Ozuna in the DH spot, number 8. Vaughn Grissom hitting 9th at shortstop. Rosario will play left field. The rest of the lineup is as you would expect. Would love to see Sean Murphy and Austin Riley swap, but neither here nor there at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Austin's going to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had a single yesterday in the 2nd game. So, I mean, it's not like he's completely lost.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
right
and I mean, like I said yesterday, the way some other players in this offense are playing right now, I think Austin has some time to kind of figure things out. Just Kevin Seitzer will get him straight. He'll get him right. It'll be okay.
And it might be time to start taking Chipper on the road.
On the road? I don't think Chipper's going on the road.
Just keep him away from certain eating establishments. if we are, that's all.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, I'm not going there. I'll let you. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Yeah.
Oh man, but tonight's this next set is an opportunity again to put some distance between you and the Marlins, who I feel like are going to be a threat by the end of the year, or at least to the All-Star break.
They might be a bigger threat than the Mets.
Well, until they start selling folks off, which they are prone to do over time.
I tell you what, you got to be a little concerned with this one because it's Elder for us and it's Alcantara for them. And didn't he make his last start against us? Wasn't that his last start where he didn't get out of the 6th? He's not gone since then, has he?
I don't think so.
So, I mean, this is going to be a guy on a mission, and I wouldn't make too much of that 1-2 5.04.
Yeah, I mean, he only gave up 4 hits and 2 earned runs against Atlanta in his last outing, which is the best he's been to this point. So, I mean, take that as you will. I mean, Sandy Alcantara is the reigning Cy Young winner, and he's very, very good.
He's very, very good.
So do what you will with that information. But we need to take a break and get Chris Lee on here in just a moment. So stick around. Chris Lee will join us to talk a little SEC baseball right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about calling for a ride. Nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Better than drinking an ice-cold beverage while taking in a Nashville Sounds baseball game. Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller with Mornings on Main Street. The Nashville Sounds and Main Street Media Television have teamed up to promote Sunday Family Fun Day here at First Horizon Park each Sunday home game. Just go to your favorite Main Street Media website and click on Sounds Main Street Media Day banner to register to win free tickets. And then we'll see you here at the ballpark.
I'm so excited about this new show.
Dino Trek is back again this year. It's bigger than we've ever had it before.
When they're about 5 months old, we'll start to see them sticking their head out of the pouch, or you might see a foot come out or a tail.
It's like an Airbnb for Joey's. Now, you're not going to see all 3 of them together because cats in general don't get along unless it's time to get along, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh, my.
Well, we're 2/3 of the way there. It's animals, nature, and fun. That's what we're all about. But during that time, we hope that you also learn something, that you're inspired to want to learn something.
What's new at the zoo with Jim Bar 2. Walmart Supply Chain is hiring in Lebanon. Earn up to $22.25 an hour when you join our new fulfillment center. Enjoy competitive pay and premium perks, including 100% paid college tuition, 401k match, flexible schedules, a free Walmart Plus membership that includes discounts, and free Paramount Plus, paid time off, and so much more. Fulfilling work starts right here. Text JOIN to 240-240. That's JOIN 240-240 to apply now.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow here alongside Mo Patton, and we are talking a little college baseball as Mo sporting the CWS hat today. Don't know if you did that on purpose, but well done if you did.
Better if I didn't, which I didn't. Yeah, but it worked out well.
Take the W. Take the W there. We'll go to the Real Property Solutions hotline now, where Chris Lee joins us from Southeastern 14. Chris, what's going on, man?
Hey, great minds think alike, don't they, Mo?
There we go. There we go. I like that. Here's the thing. You probably got yours in Omaha. I got mine at the Hawk a few years ago. So, hey, Chris, we obviously wanted to bring you on to talk a little SEC baseball and specifically UT and Vanderbilt. But as I'm looking at the standings, where a couple of weeks ago there was some talk about whether or not Tennessee would even make the SEC tournament field, how odd is it to look at the SEC West standings and see your last two College World Series champions at the bottom?
It's really odd. I can't think of another league where that would ever happen. I mean, and this is the second year in a row, right? I think last year Mississippi State missed Hoover. I think was last in the league and had won it the year before. Ole Miss right now is doing the same thing. So, yeah, it's just a sign of how tough it is to compete in this league, which we've known for a long time. But to see it reach that level of craziness is really something.
And both of them, I mean, Mississippi State has been a player in this league for a long time. Ole Miss, maybe not necessarily to Mississippi State's degree, but I mean, they've both been competitive. I mean, there are probably those that would tell you that before Mississippi State won 2 years ago, they were probably the best program in the country to not win a World Series. But so it's not like they went down to the crossroads, either one of them, and made a deal with the devil. It's striking to me that they are where they are right now.
Yeah, well, and for Ole Miss's hallmark had been its consistency. And a year ago, this team at this point in the season wasn't even going to make the field. D1 baseball didn't even have Ole Miss in the field, so they weren't supposed to be there. Of course, we know the rest of the story. Ole Miss won it all, but what I'm getting at is Ole Miss, it really was not a program that had had success in the postseason, but it had been there just about every year. I mean, Mike Bianco almost never missed the tournament. And so it's wild not only seeing a team that won the whole thing last year is probably not going to make the tournament, but it's a team that's usually there and it's not going to be there.
Mississippi State, moving lounge chairs on the Titanic, fired their pitching coach yesterday, I think. I mean, are things that dire in Starkville? Is Lamonis in danger, do you think?
I wonder, and I haven't checked in, but I'll just see if I can find this. I think State has given up 206 runs in league play. This is from memory, but it's ugly. And they're the worst pitching staff in the league and defense if you combine that in there. And it's not what you've come to expect for a program that has been so consistent. I mean, not only did they win it a couple years ago, they've been to Omaha several times in the last few years. Vanderbilt, when it won it in 2019, had to beat State in what was it, basically a quarterfinal game, and State had beaten Vandy the year before in the Super Regional. So, like Ole Miss, this is the team that not only has been to the heights, but it's just been there year in and year out. And I don't know, there have been a lot of rumblings from the beginning of the year that maybe Lemonis would not survive this season. I don't know if throwing the pitching coach off on the sacrificial fire will be enough, or it'll take more, but that'll be something to watch.
As I am looking through the rankings, and you mentioned how tough this league is. It's just brutal week in and week out, and that just goes to show by what the national media feels like when you're talking about the SEC. It just seems like what was this? Just an absolute SEC love fest sometimes throughout this year. And are you surprised that everybody just kind of realizes that the SEC is a meat grinder at this point?
Not really, Chris, because I think in preseason the league had, I don't know, 6 of the top 8 teams or whatever it was, and you're just sitting there thinking they can't all win enough games to get to that point, and yet they did. So you look at the RPI, it agrees with that. You look at most of the other computers that aren't RPI computers, they agree with that. I mean, the league is what it is. It's probably, in my mind, going to get 5 of the top 8 seeds nationally, which is incredible. You got a Tennessee team sitting out there, I think, has got a shot to host if it can play well down the stretch. That would be maybe 6 hosting teams. You got a Kentucky team that is number 4 in the RPI right now that is not getting projected as a host, which is crazy, but people just don't think Kentucky's going to be able to hold on and have a conference record worthy of being there at the season's end. And that's that alone just says a lot about this league.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm getting at here. It's impressive to see 6, 7 teams in the rankings, and yet you feel like if they didn't have to play SEC teams every single weekend, there would probably be more. And that's just the nature of the beast of how this has gone. And Vanderbilt with the sweep of Kentucky over the weekend was huge for them. I think obviously when you can beat a top 5 RPI team, it goes a long way in in postseason play. So, and not so great for Kentucky. If they at least win one, they probably are in a better position nationally as well. So, looking interesting there. Now this weekend, Vanderbilt has Alabama, and if you live in Ohio, you can't bet on this game. What in the world is that going on?
I did some checking on that this morning from somebody I know that can get the things at Alabama. What I was told is that Alabama had made a last-minute pitching switch in that one. I think the starter maybe had some back troubles or something and figured out an hour before the game that he couldn't go. The betting markets for college baseball aren't huge.
No.
I guess the information got out to a few people, and allegedly, I don't know this for fact, but it appears that somebody with that information put a large chunk of change on Alabama, LSU, I think on the LSU money line or whatever, and was rewarded because LSU won that one 13-11. But apparently from what I've been told, and I'm reporting this as fact and maybe something else, but it seems that just that last minute switch is what caused everything to go the way it did.
Just a wild story. That's all.
That is wild. Chris Lee of Southeastern 14 joining us here on the Real Property Solutions Hotline on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris, I know your allegiances lie with Vanderbilt, but it kind of looks like the Commodores were good for whatever ailed Tennessee.
Yeah. and Mo, you and I covered Vandy for a while, and you probably remember how Florida used to come into Hawkins Field and just chirp and do things that would get on their nerves and get the best of them. I think Tennessee is kind of the team that does that to them now. Tennessee's not only won the last 7 games in the series, including Hoover, but has done it pretty decisively. But I've said this too. That was a lot about Tennessee. I think that, and I've said this for weeks, if you take that season and have to play it out just with the parts Tennessee's got, and particularly with the pitching, when you've got a Burns, you've got a Dolander, you've got Drew Beam, you've got the kid whose name escapes me, the Charlotte transfer that's their closer, Andrew Lindsay is who it is. When you've got Kirby Connell, you've got Camden Sewell, all these guys that have been in their bullpen forever, it was not hard to see Tennessee getting that right. Now, whether Tennessee can play on the road or not, I don't know. We're about to find out because Tennessee goes to Georgia, where Georgia's been really good at Foley Field. Arkansas found that out where it got swept a couple years ago. But when you've got that much pitching and you've got some pretty elite arms, and Tennessee's got both, you've always got a shot. And I'm very interested to see if Tennessee can win on the road, because if it can, I think it's got a way to play itself into a hosting spot. And if it does, that's a different team. Tennessee's 1-9 on the road this year. And you can do the math and figure out pretty close to what Tennessee's been at home. And if Tennessee gets a regional in Lindsey Nelson Stadium, look out, because that's a team that plays well there. And that might be, I think Tennessee's going to make the NCAA tournament most likely. How far it goes might depend on where it plays.
Yeah. 28-4 inside Lindsey Nelson this year. Not nearly as well on the road.
2-10 then. So
yeah, it's not been good. Not been
One
good.
of those was neutral.
Yeah,
Okay.
so 1-9.
So
according to SECsports.com, 1-9 on the road. So yeah, you're right. There you go. That's therein lies the rub for Tennessee fans. You're hoping to host a regional, and to do that, really need to sweep a Georgia team that's sitting behind them in the standings, and obviously one of the lower tier teams in the SEC. So this weekend you feel like you need to get a sweep if you can. Chris Lee on the Real Property Solutions Hotline. Chris, we're going to let you get out of here. We appreciate you taking some time with us today. As always, it is a pleasure to talk to you, and hopefully once the tournament rolls around, we can grab you up and find out what's going to happen before it happens. That way we don't have to watch it.
Well, hopefully I'm as good as you made me out to be there. But in any
and
case, it'll be a lot of fun. And thank you guys for having me.
We'll get your son on to analyze the draft for us sometime soon as well, because apparently he knows a lot more about it than we
right.
do.
Wouldn't take much. Yeah. Thanks,
There
Chris.
you go. Thanks, Chris. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right. We take a break here. When we come back, Chip Walters joins us on the Real Property Solutions Hotline. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today is back to the Lee Company studio right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Attention Tennessee homeowners, we want to buy your house. Hi, we are Real Property Solutions, a local real estate investing group. We pay cash for all types of property, so you walk away with more money in your pocket because we eliminate any fees, closing costs, and commissions. Now the best part, we can buy your house as is, meaning you don't have to do a thing to your property. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't, and don't even worry about cleaning. We close on your timeline, whether that's 7 days or 70 days. Interested in selling? Just give us a call and we'll come out to your property and quote you a cash offer within 24 hours. Please call 615-527-8750. That's 615-527-8750.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow and Mo Patton here on this fine Tuesday. Top 5 Tuesday coming your way in just a few moments. Top 5 talk show hosts. And our guest has hosted a few talk shows in his time. Chip Walters joins us.
Won't make that top 5 list, especially with competition like you guys.
Well, sports talk show hosts are on are going to have their own category. So,
is this in memory of Jerry Springer?
It is.
It is indeed.
Okay.
You know us all too well.
Yes, I do.
Good job.
You've only been on this show for like 3 years going, so I guess at this point you should know us pretty well.
It's very impressive that you knew that off the rip, though. That was good.
Chip, how things are going in the borough?
Well, it is. It's been to be graduation week. It's been pretty doggone busy. You had, last week we talked about the leading up to the Raiders' Choice Awards. That was a big success. Everybody looked great. All the awards were passed out, and everybody had a good time. That led into a big weekend at home for baseball and softball, and baseball was a mixed bag. Blue Raiders got it handed to them handily on Friday night. They turned around and handed it back to Louisiana Tech on Saturday, and then had the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth with a chance to win on Sunday, and hit into a double play and lost 3-1. So they went into the weekend alone in fourth place, and in the weekend tied for fourth, but have lost essentially they're in fifth because they lost their tiebreaker to Louisiana Tech. Now, 3 series remain, 2 on the road, 1 at home, and the one this weekend is at Dallas Baptist, who is the league leader. First time Middle has faced the Patriots of Dallas Baptist, and then home for UAB, who is in either last or next to last going into this weekend, and then we'll finish out at Charlotte, who is 1 spot ahead of Middle in the standings. So it's a big 3 weeks, as they try to wrap it up and get as good a seeding as they can for the upcoming conference tournament.
Well, Chip, if history repeats itself and GoBlueRaiders.com's banner at the top, topping the top 25, this would bode well for the Blue Raider baseball team as Dallas Baptist comes in ranked.
It has been a year for that, with football winning at Miami, women's basketball knocking off Louisville, men's basketball beating a Final Four team in FAU that was ranked, and here you go. You're exactly right. A chance to do that. Softball over the weekend swept UTSA, so they have put themselves. They jumped 3 spots this weekend. They went from 7th to 4th with 1 weekend remaining. So they put themselves in a much better position as they get ready for the tournament, and they're starting to get really good pitching, and to go along with a league leading hitting ball club. They're hitting over 300 as a team, and they've got speed and they've got power. So if they're going to be a tough out for whoever they play in the tournament.
Tournament goes to Louisiana Tech. Is that right?
I think that's correct. The baseball tournament will go to Rice for one final time. So there's that.
Chip, typically people that go to the portal wind up elsewhere. Seems like somebody in Murfreesboro stepped into the portal and stepped back.
That would be Elias King. He made his announcement, and at some point thought better of it and felt like he had a good spot at MTSU, and he was able to he was allowed to come back onto the roster, and I think welcomed him back, because Elias really had a breakthrough year, and that was confirmed with his being awarded the breakout performer of the year for males at the Raiders Choice Awards last week. And he, he's such a good guy. And if he can improve again as much from now until this fall as he did in the past 12 months, he's going to have a very special final year. And Middle went into the all of this with 6 spots needing to fill. They're down to 1 now with since Josh Ogundele, who
very good.
Well done.
At least that's what it's going to be for me for right now.
Until further notice.
That's right. Josh transfers from Iowa. He'll have, I think, 2 years remaining, but he is 6'11" and 3 bills. And I think they want to see him play at like 275. But he, with Jared Coleman Jones and Chris Loof, who is an incoming freshman, that's going to give Middle a pretty good inside presence. I mean,
Torrey Austin.
Yeah, it's right. And he'll be a 4 and will probably come in and start. You think, DeAndre Dishman did wonderful things at 6'6.5", and now to have 3 guys who are in that 6'9" to 6'11" range and actually could play a 5 position, because last year, I mean, you went for years Conference USA, and prior to that the Sun Belt. It was a league of 3s and 4s and sometimes 1s and 2s as well, but you really didn't have that much presence in the post as far as true centers are concerned. This last year, everybody had one, and
except us.
Yeah, and then but Jared Coleman Jones made great strides a year ago went from being a 3 to 5 minute a guy, 3 to 5 minute a game guy, to a 15 minute a game guy. Now he walks into that starting role, you would think, and so he's there's going to be some things on his shoulders, so he can do that. And this has been, from what I've seen, it looks to have been a very productive off-season, portal season, recruiting, signing season for Coach McDevitt and his crew. That young man from Mississippi Valley, Torrey, what's his last name, Mo? You've got it right in front of you.
Austin.
Yeah. He shoots 50 or 49% from three, and that's with over 100 shots taken. You've got junior college transfer that's going to help. You've got the latest signee that came in. So they've done a good job. There's one spot remaining, and it's going to be interesting to see how that's filled and how they want to go about that. But I think it's pretty easy to see when you look at the depth of what they're bringing in as opposed to what went out the door. I think they better themselves in a league that's going to have a little less firepower at the top. Like last year was incredible with FAU, UAB, and all of that. Now you would think, if you had to take a preseason poll right now, you'd think that maybe Middle and Liberty would be the two that would be closest to the top of what will be the newly shaped Conference USA.
And getting back to Elias King for just a second, I specifically remember when it was announced that he was transferring into MTSU from Mississippi State, and it's been 2-3 years ago, I guess. But Chris hit that nail on the head, man. He was really excited to hear that he was coming, and I wasn't familiar with him, but I would think that Blue Raider fans are glad that he has decided to stick around, because he can be a really important cog. I'm interested, Chip, to see how much Loof and Ogundele play at the same time, because it sounds like their games would allow for McDevitt to really play some games with those two and put them both on the floor together.
That'll be interesting to see if they do that, or some combination of either one of those two with Jared Coleman Jones. But looking back over the signing class, just to mention all those names, Loof, who's 6'11", Tyrone Mosley, he's the transfer from Mississippi Valley. Ozell Jackson, he comes from Coahoma Junior College, again from that McDevitt template, 6'6" to 6'8", versatile, interchangeable parts kind of guy. Torrey Austin, and I don't know if you remember, Mo, do you remember a guy named Mike Alston that played a year for Boots back in the 80s?
I do not remember, because I saw something about him coming home, and I saw that his dad played football. I don't remember him.
Well, I don't either, and I think and he'll say well, I don't know if I was a football player. He goes, I was on the team, and I did check the Letterman list. He's not on the Letterman list, but he was here for a year. And Alston had originally committed to Sam Houston, and but when there was a coaching change there, the Sam Houston coach left to go to New Mexico State to reboot that program.
Ooh, good luck with that.
And that's a complete start from scratch, which that's an interesting challenge for certain coaches. So he put himself back out there. Middle got involved, and here you go. So I'm pretty excited about the roster that they're putting together. Especially with one spot remaining, and again, I think there's a high level of interest on what they do there. I think they've filled a lot of needs, and is this kind of, since we're just coming off the weekend of the NFL draft, is this where you look on your board and say best player available and see what you can come up with? So I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to see.
Are there any freshmen coming in, Chip?
Loof is a freshman.
Loof is a freshman. Okay.
Yeah, he went. He's from Leander High School in San Antonio, and then interestingly enough, did a prep school year at Linkier Prep, which is where T. Leonard.
That's right. We talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And now T is with Memphis along with Rick Stansberry. Interestingly enough. Yow poked his head up there. Did you like a little meerkat. Did you had you seen that, Chris?
Apparently he had not.
No.
Yeah, he's joined Penny's staff.
Yeah.
All right, then. Should be fun. Hey,
let's just leave that right there.
Yeah, I want to move on to tennis because we talked about it last week, and we're really hoping for a potential spot as a regional host. Unfortunately, we'll be headed to Starkville. That's a little disappointing, but also feel pretty good about the regional.
Boy,
feel like it's a regional you can win.
I think you got to. The thing was, last year they were ranked 16, 17, somewhere right in there. And that was, I think, where they felt like that was the real shot to get the host spot. This year, they went into the selection ranked number 28, which pretty much took them out of being a host. So that level, that disappointment really, being down there when they were selected the other day, I think they knew going in they weren't going to be hosting this year. Although I think next year when the new tennis center gets completed, there'll be a big push to be able to try to get a host site. But you're right, going to Mississippi State, where you've got Tulane, a team you split with this year, and you also had faced Mississippi State as well. So this is a winnable region going in, and Jimmy Borndame has now won 4 straight conference championships, and he's got this team playing very, very well right now.
Should be fun. Always looking forward to Middle Tennessee State tennis because they have an opportunity. I mean, look, if there's any team on campus that has an opportunity year in and year out, it's men's tennis.
It really is, and that goes back for a while. And if you're a tennis fan, you got to come watch these guys play sometime because Jimmy coaches tennis like he's a football coach, and I mean it's full contact tennis, and they have a rowdy crowd section. The way that the Adams Tennis Complex is laid out, where you can stand in one spot and basically see all 8 courts. They get these big name programs coming in, play them on a Friday afternoon during happy hour, and people come and just have a great time. And they've been really good in those matches, and have built a really, really nice fan base here.
As always, Chip, it's a pleasure to talk to you. You got anything else before we get out of here? You usually have a list if we don't touch on it. So I just want to make sure you get all of the things checked off.
Well, just that probably next Tuesday, I'll probably come to you from the Destin airport.
Ooh.
So there's that. I'm not going down for conference meetings. I'm going to meet with the beach this weekend for a little extended weekend.
Little humble brag action there. I see you. It's okay.
Yeah.
We do love
learn from the master, Mo.
We do love a humble brag.
It's
one of the
and if anybody deserves it, it's Chip.
But and Mo with his in his newfound position of the Will Levis fan club president. So
I'm a little surprised that Chip wasn't holding up a Murfreesboro Post newspaper. It kind of looks like you're coming to us from a basement in somewhere that being held hostage.
I'm upstairs in my house, in my little studio that I have here. So that's where I am today.
There you go. Well, at least you don't have a curtain hanging behind you, so we're good. We're good.
It's all good. Chip, as always, man, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, boys.
All right. It's Top 5 Tuesday coming to you now. Top 5 Tuesday is brought to you by Mid-South 5 Fitness and Dallas Still and the fine folks there, stillathletes.com, STEEL athletes at Still Athletes on Instagram. Time to go. We got to figure out who's picking second and who's picking third, because I lost last week. So
I will
first.
I will take the number 3 pick. I will allow Justin to pick second, just because apparently my Will Smith pick was, worthy of some sort of sanction, I guess. So
I don't know. If Heather was saying, Heather would have said that you you would pick second because that means you would have lost.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. There you go.
So anyway, I'm gonna start it off. Obviously, I was dead last week. So of course I'm gonna start strong as it gets right here with the East Nashville legend, Oprah Winfrey.
Oh,
okay.
You get a car, you get a car, I get a win in the polls. It's a thing.
I'm gonna go with my first pick. Or wait, was I next or was it Mo?
Yeah, you're next.
Okay, so I'm gonna go classic Dr. Phil. I always enjoy his shows.
Okay, all right.
It might not be as popular as
I'm gonna go with the '90s sensation, the dog pound, the finger wag, the let's get busy, Arsenio Hall.
Nice.
One of my favorites. All right, number 2. So I'm gonna cheat because I'm a cheater, but you can't have one without the other. Kind of like love and marriage. Regis and Kathy Lee.
That's a good one. It's a solid one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the results are in, and you are not the father. Mari, right? Mari
Povich.
Yeah.
Great pick.
Delivering good and bad news all day.
To in every decision, it's good news and bad news for somebody.
Exactly.
For somebody, exactly.
Make them all happy.
All right. I'm gonna go with the guy who was at one time the standard for talk show hosting, Larry King.
Ooh, solid.
That's a great pick. He was on my list. How about Ellen at number 3? I feel like that's good value there.
Controversial a little bit, though.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with a dude you feel like you can't hate or not dislike. Jimmy Fallon. My fault.
Fallon. Be sure you get the right Jimmy. Okay.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel is not liked by everybody.
Yeah. I'm staying old school. I'm going with Johnny Carson.
Ooh, that's a great pick. Definitely on my list.
Sleeper right there.
Definitely on my list. Well, if you want, if you want to go old school, I got you.
Go ahead.
Phil Donahue.
Good call.
Not bad.
Good call.
I mean, dude was like he was
at
one time. He was the talk show host. Him and Carson were they were just the standard. So
absolutely. Justin,
I'm gonna throw a wrench in the whole thing.
Here we go.
Wendy Williams. She cracks me up. She cracks me up.
How you doing?
Her just like,
Yeah. Okay. Number 4. And I'm going to try to milk one of these guys and see if he can get through or not. But at number 4, I'm going to go Letterman.
Ooh, I like that one. Which show? He's done the late night one? Because he's doing that new one with the talks with.
Well, just as a host, it doesn't matter. Every show he did, he's fantastic. He's hilarious. I love David Letterman. He was, and it's funny because when they were on together, I was a big Leno guy because of headlines. Loved Monday night headlines. That was like my favorite thing, and that's one of the reasons that I love writing punny headlines to this day. Is trying to get on Leno's headlines. All right, this one's awkward. This is weird. I was toiling between this one and another person, but I'm going to go back to the 90s, and this is just part of my childhood. I'll never forget it. Montel.
Such a good one.
Oh,
Love
that's a
Montel.
good one.
That's
That's a good one.
Definitely solid.
I forgot Montel. That's a good one.
JK.
I'm gonna go with. I don't know if this one counts because it wasn't actually. I guess it's technically a show that aired on cable or national TV. But Between the Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. So I'm picking last, right? This is the last pick.
Last pick, Mr. Irrelevant or Mr. Irrelevant.
Good Lord. Stephen Colbert, Trevor Noah, or Jon Stewart. Or John Oliver.
You like Trevor Noah? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Colbert.
I love Colbert, man.
Yeah. All right.
There you go. That is Top 5 Tuesday, brought to you by Mid-South 5 Fitness and the bird trying to get into my window. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us here. We'll get the poll up here soon. Appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow talking NASCAR and more on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Come back to the Lee Company studio with us on Wednesday. Until then, make it a good day.